Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed our bones and fur identification test and answer videos. These are just things we've had around Oswegatchie for years. We've used these for many programs over time. And since we have time to spare here in December of 2020, we wanted to put some videos together and practice with content and see what else we can bring to you guys in video. So here we go. Like it says right here, some items were replicas. So a lot of the skulls that were more yellow, those are plastic replicas. Some were just found in the woods. Some were left over from hunts. And the fur samples were capes. So when you have a head you're mounting, you have extra hide that you can pull down and shrug to make fit the taxidermied head. And that's where these furry pelts have come from here. As you notice, most of these are just very small swaths. The red fox head mask, I got that at a Native American festival. Same here with a striped skunk. Just bought them from a vendor. A coyote mask, also bought it at the Native American festival. Incredibly soft, well-tanned hides. Coyote sample that was given to us here at Oswegatchie. Raccoon Tail, very simple, very obvious as well. Mule Deer, once again, another cape from a taxidermist. We just called them and asked around, and before you know it, we had all sorts of these little capes, more than we needed. Mule Deer, western species. Moose, brown, gray, blackish, thick, coarse, almost entirely guard hairs. White-tailed deer, this is a very nicely tanned pelt. You could sleep with this if you had a hankering to use this as a blanket. The backside leathers is tanned very well, very luxurious. White-tailed deer. Black bear, obviously it's black, not a lot of loft to that coat. If you rub those hairs, they're very coarse. Those bear coat is guard hair, whereas the beaver pelt, something that needs more insulation. There are some thicker hairs called guard hairs, and some underneath that, the insulating layer is to help keep it warm. Elk, predominantly a western United States critter. Thick. A ruffed grouse, a wing and a tail feather. I've had that specimen for about 15 years, believe it or not. Cured it with salt. Wild turkey feather. Yes, the feather is a little blurry here, but if you know what you're looking at, you know what you're looking at. Snapping turtles, certain pieces of the carapace has fallen off of this, but this was given to us by a local gentleman who did a little hunting, and he gave us the snapping turtle as a specimen. He cleaned it up and everything, he gave it to us. Coyote teeth, these were given to us as well. Somebody volunteered them to us, so we have them. Black bear teeth also were volunteered and given to us. Very big teeth, big roots. The Cottontail Deer, this was given to us by Steve Paul. Bit of a joke there. Cottontail Deer, subspecies of the western jackalope. Steve Paul also gave us two very large antlers from elk. So hard, this young man, this 10-year-old boy holding this antler had a hard time holding it up. Moose or elk? I thought it was elk. Somebody else told me it was moose. I do not know what to say. I thought moose had more of a rounded hoof, so I'm leaving that as optional. Weasel skulls, very small skulls. I don't know if they're ermines or something a little bit bigger. The two little skulls. It's kind of hard to tell how small they are there. Red squirrel, yes, a little blurry, but I wanted you to see those teeth in the front. We have a lot of red squirrel in Oswegatchie. You can come and take some home if you want. Big rodent teeth. 3 beaver skulls. Now that bad boy right there is a replica, the one in the front. The other two are real. Those teeth continue to grow throughout the entire life of the animal. And if they do not have an opportunity to chew, those teeth will grow too large and the animal cannot close its mouth. Amazing stuff about beavers right now on the internet. Some really amazing things. This was hard to shoot. This is a brown bat skull. It is so small, it's in a small magnifying box. And then juxtaposed against a black bear skull, this one on the right is a replica. The one on the left is a real skull. A lot of head, a lot of material there, but the brain cavity is still very small. That's one thing that always amazes me about how much architecture is set up for an animal skull and how little space for the brain. This was a pig skull. Now, without the jawbone on there, I could not recognize what this was. The Steve Paul messaged me and let me know what that was. Coyotes. Both real. It's from the Steve Paul collection. Black bear cub. Now, if you look at that tooth right there, that is a honkingly big tooth. I do not know the origin of this skull. I'm assuming it was some type of probably roadkill or something like that. The skull on the back there probably just damaged with age. 2 fox skulls. Now, maybe it would have been nice if I had a couple more videos to show you these skulls in comparison to others in a big lineup. Maybe that would be something we'll do in the future. But these are 2 fox skulls. Now, Mr. Paul gave us a lot of skulls when he retired from Sherburne Earlville. And them all lined up, the fox and the coyote and these Fisher skulls, was very confusing. But if you see this fin on the 3rd skull there, a sagittal fin or plate, it grows as the Fisher gets older. So that really throws off with identification of that. White-tailed deer, an antler here. That is a deer replica, but you can get those skulls just about anywhere this time of year. There was a huge science behind cleaning skulls, very fun to learn about. Moose antlers. You know, if you look around yard sales, estate sales, there are always moose antlers available to buy somewheres. So this was, I believe, part of the Steve Paul collection, probably for my relatively immature moose. When I say relative, I mean, relatively young. Red-tailed deer, Japanese deer, Sitka deer. I mean, my mind is blown away by the number of names that this one deer species must have. I highly recommend learning more about it. And I love this antler here. This antler was chewed by mice and rodents. It was gnawed by wild critters who were looking for calcium, a very common thing. If you look for deer sheds in the wintertime, it's very hard to find them. Yes, this is the next video with the colorful commentary. I hope you've enjoyed it. I probably should have edited it out a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You can buy scats, tracks, and skull replicas at Acorn Naturalist. We have one more video here for you that we're going to put in. It is a book review about animal skulls. So please join us for that. Thank you very much.